botchling's ugly is like saying shit not particularly tasty. Can't say it's a lie, but it doesn't exactly convey the whole truth either. Bamber, Witcher of the Wolf School. Botchlings are perhaps the most repulsive creatures a Witcher will ever have the displeasure of meeting. Born of dead, unwanted babies discarded without a proper burial, their appearance is that of a partially decayed fetus, their unformed flesh twisted with hate, fear, and malice. These hideous creatures feed on the blood of pregnant women, driven by a mad hunger that most often leads to their victim's death. A botchling will emerge from its lair at night to lurk by the bedside of an expectant mother, draining her strength and that of her unborn progeny as she sleeps. A woman thus beleaguered first suffers from troubling dreams, then fever, delirium, and a general weakening of the flesh. After a few such nights, she is enfeebled and unable to defend herself. It is then the botchling attacks directly, sinking its long, sharp fangs into her body, drinking of her blood until mother and fetus perish together. A botchling stands around 1.5 feet in height, but when threatened, and if gorged with blood, it can change form. At such times it grows into a deformed man, hunched over and striding, ape-like on its forearms. Stronger and fiercer after this alteration, it hurls itself into direct physical combat, gnashing at its opponent or attacking him with sharp claws. A botchling's curse can be lifted by transforming it into a lubberkin, a guardian spirit of the hearth that watches over the family it never knew, in the house it could never call home. Okay, the Baron's barn is on fire, so we're gonna have to get up here pretty quick. Watch out, people. You'll be no good with a fire roach, let's leave you here.
Drunk old fool tottering about again. Don't calm him down. Oswin! Where's Oswin? Anyone seen him?
Believe I saw him heading to the stable.
What?
Fire. You blind? Nobody willing to put it out?
Ain't that simple. Most are afraid. Baron flies into a rage. He takes no prisoners.
My brother's in the stable! We've got to save him! He'll burn alive! Him and the horses!
I'll try, mate. I'll
See
try.
what I can do.
Hurry now! Quick!
Baron's beating people up. Okay, we can't get in. Let's take the ladder.
Damn it. Lots of smoke. Gotta hurry.
Right, who's here?
Over here! Can't get out! Roof's collapsed!
Coming to get you.
Let's get all these horses out. Where's the guy?
We've a hero in our midst. You've earned yourself a barrel of Lyrian.
I know your wife miscarried. Was that before or after you beat her to a pulp?
What the fuck are you suggesting?
Don't play me for a fool. You'd been beating them for years. Finally, they'd had enough and fled. Sound about right?
Ah!
Bad idea. They ran from you, didn't they?
Lying prick!
It's enough for you, Philip.
That's enough of that. We need to talk.
Oh, the guy's a bit of a ticking time bomb. Which is an understatement.
Sit down. You beat them.
I never laid a finger on Tamara. Not once.
And on Anna.
That's another story. She always knew how to spark my ire.
What did she do to deserve that?
Your wife. How'd she make you angry? Too much salt in the soup? Socks never darned?
20 years we've known each other. She's seen me drunk and sober. She was there to greet me when I returned the victor. She was there to patch me up in defeat. Like no other, she knew where to press, where to pinch, so it would hurt.
You beat her? For that? For criticizing you?
Oh, Witcher, you haven't a clue, have you? Well, perhaps I shall tell you about it one day. One day, but not today.
What about Tamara?
Expect me to believe you were a loving father to Tamara after that scene in the courtyard?
You're free to believe whatever you wish, but she was always the apple of my eye. She had the run of the place, ask anyone. She'd ride the horses, hunt with the men, at times join them on their rounds. And they'd send for her when I flew into a rage, for only she could calm me.
Make it sound like she led a charmed life. If that's the case, why'd she run?
I'd hardly need you if I knew.
So why didn't you tell me if you knew that they'd run away and not been kidnapped?
You knew they had run away from the start.
Yes, I knew.
Why didn't you tell me? Wasted my time.
Say I had. Say I'd said I had troubles. Couldn't control my wife, my daughter. What kind of flaccid prick would you take me for?
So do you know how they fled?
Tell me everything you remember about the day they fled. The truth this time.
I'd been soaking myself 3 days straight. Anna came to me, said they were leaving. I begged them to stay. She refused to hear it. I tried to stop her. She wriggled like an eel. We struggled. She fell. Last blasted thing I remember. Woke up in the morn, breeches heavy with my own piss. A large bump on my head. Sadly, they were gone. Know what that's like, Witcher? No. How the fuck could you? I was left with nothing. Nothing! Only the bottle.
I mean, Geralt does know what it's like to see his... not his wife, but he knows what it's like to see Yennefer and Ciri ride off. And really think that he might never see them again after he got run through with a pitchfork, so... Can you tell me about the signs of fighting in the room? Was that you and Anna?
Signs of a fight in the room. Hole in the wall, wine all over the landing. Was that you?
Aye. We tussled. She tried to whack me on the noggin with a candlestick, but kept missing. Hit the wall and a pillar instead. I staggered backwards onto the table, spilled the wine, slipped and tumbled. Anna used that moment to flee. She rushed down the stairs, still clutching that damn candlestick. I caught her on the landing. We fell. I thought I had her. Then she turned and smacked me in the head. I blacked out. Don't know what happened next. When I came to, I was alone.
Did Tamara see any of this happen?
Tamara present for all this? She see you quarrel?
Through the doorway, perhaps. She didn't enter the room. Shame, too. Things might have turned out differently. The sight of her always calmed me.
But what happened next?
What happened next?
Next, it only got worse. I awoke at sunset, not knowing how many days had passed. Thought it was all a ploughing, drunken nightmare. And then I went to the bedchamber, but Anna was not there. Instead, there was blood everywhere. I knew she'd miscarried. My breath short, my throat locked. I neared the bed and saw it. It lay there, a tiny thing, defenseless, on bloodied sheets, dead. And it was my doing.
What did you do with the body?
Maybe you're doing, maybe not. But that amulet she wore could be important. Or maybe the fact that she lost it. What did you do with the child?
What was I to do? Took it out and buried it.
Just like that?
Damn you! I gave no thought to a funeral. It was a horror. I wanted it to end. That child had been my dream. I told Anna, the little one, our little one, to make things right. Yet she died before she could be born. Understand, Witcher? My child was dead.
I understand.
I sympathize. I do.
Thank you. And know that I hope you find your Ciri.
Deal we made means I need to find Tamara and Anna first. Just so happens your unborn daughter might help us do that.
What? How?
Sometimes miscarried fetuses, if they don't get a proper burial, turn into botchlings.
Into fucking what?
I'm not sure he needs the details.
Details you don't need to know. There's a bond of blood between this creature and your wife and daughter. I can use that bond to find them.
How?
One of two ways. Legends claim you can bury a botchling under the family's threshold, perform a ritual, and turn it into a lubberkin. That's a sort of, hob, a guardian spirit that could lead me to your family.
And the other way?
We kill it and draw some blood. Take that to the Peller and he does the rest.
Do not kill my child. It's suffered enough already. Lift the curse that it may finally rest in peace.
I mean, he's asked us to go a certain way, but we can't decide till we see it.
Still not sure what to do.
Whatever you decide, we must put an end to my child's suffering.
Where did you bury it?
Whatever we do, we gotta find the botchling first.
I'll show you where I buried her, and I'll dig the grave at my threshold.
If it turns out we can't transform the botchling into a lubberkin, they can bury us in it. Handy either way.
Very true. Okay, Mr. Strenger, let's do this.
The sooner we resolve this, the better. Best do it tonight, at midnight.
Then wait here with me. Near midnight, I'll take you to where I buried her.
Get word to the common folk. Ought to stay in their homes tonight and draw a line of salt outside their doors. And try to sober up.
Do I take a shovel to dig up the grave?
Take it. You'll need it, but not for that.
A bit further. Follow me.
You give the child a name?
No. Why would we?
Mistake. Names are powerful seals.
So he just threw it in this abandoned area of Crow's Perch.
Here's the spot.
Chose a lovely spot.
Damn it, will you relent? I'm ploughing now I've done wrong.
Good. The grave's dug up and empty.
What's that mean?
Botchling's on the prowl.
Look!
Good God. It's suffered enough.
Take it in your arms, quick.
And if it goes garroting, it'll bite us in the arse before we know it.
Keep screaming and it will turn rabid. It's calm for now.
Bloody hell. What happens when it gets ploughing restless?
It'll bite through your jugular and you'll bleed to death before I can help. Tell me if it starts wriggling. I'll calm it with magic.
This is what you wanted.
Pick it up. Take it in your arms.
Merciful gods!
Back to the fortress.
What? With this?
As I recall, you were the one wanted to test the old legends, change it into a lubberkin.
Oh, fuck.
So, if you do turn it into a fully angered botchling, it resembles something like an Alghoul, except a bit more dangerous. Hang on, Philip.
Spectres. Botchling's scent attracted them.
Do something!
Didn't think anything hit me then. Range on that is always deceptive. It's always deceptive, that second swing.
Take me! It's thriving! Oh. Quiet now. What do you want to do with it?
Me? Nothing. This is your job. Told you, gotta bury it under the threshold. If the tales are true, by tomorrow it'll be a lubberkin. From then on, it'll watch over your house and help me find your family.
We're gonna summon more monsters. Here we go again.
More coming. Need to hurry.
On with it. For the
Okay. Tired of you, Wraiths. Going. It's calming.
It worked. It stopped.
Okay, looks like things have calmed
Chosen a
down.
name?
No,
So think of one. It's important.
it's a girl. What would Anna have named her? What now?
Repeat after me. By the powers of earth and sky.
By the powers of earth and sky.
By the world that was to be your home.
By the world that was to be your home.
Forgive me, you who came, but who I did not embrace.
Forgive me. You who came, but who I did not embrace.
I name thee, say her name, and embrace thee as my daughter.
I name thee Dea, and embrace thee as my daughter.
Good. Now bury the body.
What now?
In 1 day's time, Dea should turn into a lubberkin. I'll stay here and wait. You go home.
I'll wait with you.
Out of the question.
But that's my child. And the guilt, the responsibility for all this lies with me.
Time for parental impulses? It's long past. Besides, nothing else you can do here.
But
No buts. Just Witcher's work left to do here. Gotta wait a day and a night for the botchling to turn into a lubberkin. That's it. Go home. And try not to drink yourself stupid again.
Okay, so Baron's gonna sober himself up. The botchling's not a threat anymore. Now we need to wait for the lubberkin to emerge. Let's wait.
By blood's power I summon you. With your name I beseech you. Hear my call and arise, Dea. Lead me to those bound to you by blood.
Well, that is the scariest ghost of all time. Don't mind us, guys. So,
Got eyes like a cat.
you have to go the witch's way and kill the botchling. It's actually a fairly interesting, you know, different quest with the Pella. He has to do this whole blood summoning ritual, and you have to defend yourself against like about 30 different raids. But I can't imagine a lot of people would choose the Witcher's Way on the first time round, and specifically because the Baron asks you not to do it, even though his confidence wavers. So, we've got necrophages here. Shot of Igni, perhaps. Let's try and get them together.
How long are you gonna make me wait?
I do quite like it when you're surrounded by enemies and you do one attack on each and bounce between them. It looks quite good when you can get the camera right. Because of course you can't do it if you're locked on. Lead the way, Dea. So she's taking us to this hut over here. So she wants us to have a look.
Sure wasn't lavender they kept in there. Might be worth looking around, though.
Okay, so we've got hoof prints.
A bracelet. One of them must have dropped it. Horseshoe. No way a pitch burner could afford a horse.
Okay. We've got clothes here, woman's clothes.
Clothing. They change in here. Both were here. I'm going the right way.
Okay, so maybe they
Wants
walked
to show
here,
me something more.
changed their clothes, then fled on horseback. I hear creatures. Of the insectoid variety.
Stench.
Endriggers. Okay. Help me out. Not much chance of the little ones poisoning us. Okay, Dea. Where did they go next? So it's dangerous for them to go most places in Velen because the place is just crawling with evil, whether it's monsters or bandits. Now we've got rot fiends.
How long you gonna make me wait?
Just let them burn.
Necrophages had a field day.
Rot fiends tend to run straight at you at all times. Right, he should trigger the other one. There we go.
Should examine that horse carcass.
We've got someone... Oh, we've got more necrophages. More rot fiends. Let's burn them. Okay, that hurt. That hurt a lot. Wow, they keep respawning. Yes, give me all my health back. A rot fiend explosion would like that would usually kill you. I was obviously pretty close to dying. But just as a tip, they almost always kill you. That should blow him up. Okay. Their blood is quite useful for certain crafting. Though I can't remember if it's potions or... Ooh. I think a few of the oils use rot fiend blood. Maybe some decoctions, I can't remember. Okay, so this horse has had its head ripped clean off.
What do we have here?
Okay, so we've got this horse carcass. What's happened to its bones?
Bones have been here a while.
So the necrophages have been gnawing at the carcass. What about the saddle?
Chewed on the saddle. Necrophages will eat anything these days.
Okay, nothing there. The ribs?
Giant claws. Wasn't a necrophage made these marks.
Okay, so they were attacked by something much larger.
Horseshoes missing. Is this the animal that lost one in the smokehouse?
The head ripped off.
Head torn clear off. Takes incredible strength. Must have been attacked by a powerful beast. Surprised him. Hope they got away.
Okay.
Trail goes on. Good thing it doesn't end here.
So they were attacked, but days continuing to go on, so they must have survived. Can't be a coincidence that they were attacked. It's a dangerous place, but for a dangerous monster to attack. Oh, wolves. Hey. So you can get rid of wolves quite quickly with an Ard if it works. Just fall over, wolf. There we go. course.
What? Lost your nerve?
And he's gone. Okay, that is a wide variety of creatures. Drowners, Endriggers, Rot Fiends, and now Wolves. Thought that was something else then, but it's just the branch on that tree. Okay, so Day is leading us to this hut that's by the water. Fisherman's hut, perhaps. Okay,
Fisherman's hut. Seems she wants me to take a closer look.
Let's see who's home.
Who's that? The room. Go on now.
What you seek here, sir? Our hut's out of the way. Woeful. We has nothing. We knows nothing.
Just need information. Looking for 2 women, the Bloody Baron's wife and daughter.
Not a soul have been here, sir.
Sure? Not even passing through? Daughter's medium height, about 20. Her mother's thin, about 40. Seen them?
That sir came at night, right, Mummy?
Uh-oh.
Quiet, boy.
So, the girl who stayed with you, what happened to her?
Where'd the girl go? Your son said enough, no point in playing dumb anymore.
Sorry, sir, but you don't look like one of our father's men.
Because I'm not. I'm looking for Tamara and her mother. I need to know if they're alive and safe.
Tamara is high. She's to my brother's place in Oxenford. But Mrs. Anna, that's another tale. Though anywhere's better than the crow's perch with a baron.
Why?
Cause he beat her, sir. Beat Mrs. Anna, I means. Everyone knew, but not a one lifted a finger for to stop it.
Yeah, complicit with their anonymity. Okay, so Tamara is in Oxenford, it seems, which is a much safer place than here, just in general, because it's not in the middle of a swamp. What happened to Anna?
What happened to Tamara's mother?
Twere like this. I was awaiting in the old smokehouse with horses. Cold as hell and so dark, couldn't see past 2 ells in front of you. Moon had risen high, and still they hadn't come. Began to fear some demon had snatched them. But finally they came forth, and we sets off towards the river. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a gale arose. Thought it'd tear my head off. And those damn birds, swarms of them coursing o'er the woods, raising a racket to make your ears bleed. Mrs. Anna screamed, bent over into herself. Tamara knelt down, gripped her arms. 'Twere then I saw it. Fiery marks on her hands.
We've seen that before. So what about these marks?
What marks?
These, well, like burned on with hot iron. On the palms, inside.
Burned? Like a cattle brand?
Aye, though these wasn't black scars scabbed over. They's hot and glowing, as if they burned with raw fire.
Okay, so what happened next?
Fine. What happened next?
Grew even darker. Seemed someone had put out the stars. Crickets all went silent of a sudden, and then, from the woods, a roar. Broke out in a cold sweat, and before I could catch my breath, a beast jumped out of the woods, big as a barn, with horns and 2 burning coals for eyes. I thought I was done for. Beast attacked Mrs. Anna's horse, ripped its head off, carried her off into the woods. Our horses, mine and Miss Tamara's, got spooked and tore off willy-nilly. 'Twas the only reason we escaped.
The miss wanted to go back for her mother, but my wife pleaded, said she'd die out there alone. Miss Tamara agreed not to go.
So it definitely does sound like a fiend, because the way everything would go black, it's got horns, it's big, and then because it uses hypnosis, which makes everything go black. It's got that really loud, deep-pitched roar in the eyes. Yeah, it sounds a lot like a fiend. Why? You know, he's a simple fisherman. Why did you decide to help these people?
Why help them at all? You risked a lot.
I did that. Owed Miss Tamara. 3 moons passed, a fever gripped my boy. We thought he was done for. Tamara alerted, brought food and salves. We're poorer than dirt itself. She saved my boy. No 2 ways about it. Me, myself, I'd have never dared to help. But my missus told me a time of war and contempt's come. A time of folk gone wrong. We needs to repay good with good. Who stands by idly does evil as if.
Married a wise woman.
Crying shame we couldn't save Mrs. Anna in the end.
So, from his description of the marks, them being brands on the hand, we've seen someone with that already, and that was Gran, Crookback Bog. That is, in fact, Anna. She is in a very, very dangerous position.
While back, I met a woman in Crookback Bog. Had fiery marks on her skin like the ones you described.
Must be her, Mrs. Anna. Gods, she's a Crookback Bog.
It's where I saw her last.
Gods of all the heavens protect us. 'Tis clear now who's whispered to her in the night.
It is?
The crones took her. She must have made a deal with them. A pact. It's why they marked her and took her like she was their own.
Okay. So we know where Anna is, but getting her out of there is going to be another issue entirely. It looks like we're going to have to go to Oxenfurt, which will be a much nicer location than the one we're in now. Thanks for the help.
Thanks for your help.
The lady. She'll be all right in the end, won't she?
I'll do what I can to see that she is.
Okay. Thanks, kid.
So here our paths diverge. Thank you, Dea. Go in peace.
Okay. Right, so we could do with talking to the Baron before we head off to Oxenfurt, just because the borders in and around Velen are quite well protected because of the war, so
That's it, Roach.
let's just head back to Crow's Perch. It's a bit late to be travelling to Oxenfurt anyway, so likely spend the night at Crow's Perch and then head off for Oxenfurt in the morning. So even though it's taking quite a while to sort out the Baron's problem, it will be quite nice to get to Oxenfurt and get away from this blood-soaked swamp, essentially. So there is sorrow around every corner here. But at least we know that both Tamara and Anna are alive. Dea has been given sort of a peaceful rest. we'll deal with him at a later date. Won't forget about him though, he is very funny. Hey fellas. So yeah, the day-night cycle doesn't affect everyone. Can't imagine that they'd be out here 1:30 in the morning. They'd probably just close the drawbridge. It's not a drawbridge, but they'd probably just close the gates that the bridge leads to. This place really is falling apart. Seems like the Baron's men are just gonna use the place until it completely falls apart. Doesn't seem like they're gonna maintain it very well. Okay, Roach. Oh, hello.
Ask a service of the Witcher, the Pella must. A witcherly service, that's to say.
What do you need? Tell me.
A man who fears no evil the Pella needs. Forefathers' Eve is nigh. We've rites to conduct. Wandering souls to emerge. Damned souls, too. We've the circle to protect from these wretches.
And what am I going to get for helping you with this? I don't really have time.
What'll I get out of it?
Witches do naught for free. This the Pella knows. Not to fear. How to reward one for their aid. This too the Pella knows.
So we would know. Geralt would know what Forefathers' Eve is, but let's just ask.
Why hold the ritual at all?
At times men die choking with regret. At times death takes them before they've tasted any bitterness in life. These poor souls, unfulfilled, cannot leave this vale of tears. Their spirits wander midst the living, must be judged, sent on their way. This we do on Forefathers' Eve.
So kind of similar to what we've just done with Dea, but for normal spirits. I don't really have time, but we'll we'll agree to help.
Seems like you could use a witcher, so yeah, I'll help.
You'd not refuse, the Pella knew. The time's come to gather the folk. Across the lake we must journey, to Fyke Isle. There in the circle of stones we shall meet.
The sooner we resolve this, the better. Best do it tonight at midnight.
Okay, so it's past midnight, so we'll deal with this tomorrow night. We'll see what the Baron has to say, and then we'll probably... Oh, hello.
Remember me?
Yes.
Stable hand pulled you out of the fire.
We'll never forget that. Here, I'm grateful.
$20 crowns, right? Yeah. The plan in my head right now is talk to the Baron, spend the night, or what's left of the night. Journey to Oxenfurt in the morning, see if Tamara's there, if she's left, if she's alive, and then we'll come back, and by midnight we should be able to sail to Fyke Isle. But we've got to deal with the deer fillet first.
Get out of my sight.
Fine. And where is the Baron? Oh, is he in his garden? I think he is. Yes. It's very late. It's the wee hours of the morning, but never mind.
Witcher, a word, please.
I got no time to deal with you.
No time.
This'll only take a minute. That night, when the Baron ordered everyone to lock their doors, stay inside, what did you and the Baron do?
Gotta ask the Baron about that. Speaking of which, know where he is?
Garden. Spends a lot of time sitting there of late.
Drunk.
No. Don't drink, don't eat. Just sit.
Back off, Ardle, I'm not telling you anything. The weather's ruining this a little bit, but... What's this here, Baron? A love letter. My dearest husband, I breathed a sigh of relief after reading your last letter. I'm so glad you are on the mend after your injury. I know how upset you must be at having to spend the next few weeks in a field hospital. My heart rejoices that you will not be risking your life on the battlefield. Tamara grows and grows and grows. She can even stand up now. She holds on to something, though she's still quite unsteady on those chubby little legs. She needs constant minding, for every time I turn my back she's climbing onto the table and grabbing whatever her little hands can find. Yesterday she almost poured a bowl of hot soup all over herself. I think I'll take on that Miller girl as help, because I'm afraid one day I won't catch Tamara in time. Especially now, when you're gone, and I must look after all our household affairs myself. Dear Philip, I miss you dreadfully, and eagerly await your return. Every day I pray to Melitele for your health, and our daughters, and for our family to be whole once more. I hope this horrible war will end soon. I love you. Yours forever, Anna. That must be from a while ago.
There you are.
See the hollyhock there? The violet blooms. Brought the plants here from Nazaire. Anna had read some story. Insisted on having them. Spent hours tending to them, trimming, pruning. She was so content at that. And them, the frilly ones, called birds of paradise in Zerrikania. But Tamara called them dragons of paradise. She adored them. Damn shame I'll never learn which blooms would please Dea most. Though it's good to know her spirit's free.
Yeah, we all grieve in our own way.
Your loss. It must hurt. Bad. But there wasn't anything we could do.
No. Not now. Not anymore. It was too late. That was clear. Should have acted earlier. Taken them all from this damned felon. In this hole. This reesty mire. Nothing could go right here.
He does have a point, but it's part of his own doing as well. I need to talk to you about Anna.
Got some information about your family.
You've learned something? Well, let's go inside. It's a bit chilly out. Any news for me?
Your daughter's in Oxenfurt.
What the blazes? She all right? In good health? Safe? Why haven't you brought her back?
Never offered to do that.
How do you know she's safe? You see her at least?
No, but I talked to the man who helped her escape and then took her in. Tamara is safe and sound. From what I gathered, she has no desire to see you again, no intention to return.
I shan't trust some peasant dolt. I shan't trust whoever it is helped her. I need to know for certain she's safe. Go to her. You must be sure. See her yourself. I shan't believe anyone else.
Okay, he's got all the cards really, hasn't he? He's got all the information we need, so fine, I'll go.
That much I can do.
I'm grateful. Take this, call it enticement, and this might prove useful.
What is it?
A letter of safe conduct. Ever since the Redanians took hold of the Pontard Delta, they made it damned hard to get to Novigrad without one. Very well. You were to find them both. What of Anna? Learned anything?
We'll talk about her, don't worry. But right now, you'll tell me about Ciri, just like we agreed.
Fine. A word once given. When Ciri was on the mend, we took her out on a hunt. Thought a bit of galloping would warm up her limbs, gone stiff from so much bed rest. That lass of yours, pure luck in the flesh. To hunt down a wild boar that size, why, worthy of one of King Foltest's feasts, were he still among the living. Sere, come! Our haunt should be yours as I see it.
Aye, you done well, lass.
Not bad. Not bad at all. But who goes boar hunting with a sword?
No bow at hand, no spear. My sword was all I had.
Well, you brandished it beautifully. Where'd they teach you that, anyway?
I mean, she learned a bit of both, but I mean, these are ordinary cutthroats. I mean, let's just be honest.
At Kaer Morhen?
Witcher school there, aye. But they only took lads, as I recall.
Yeah, I mean, we're not a Witcher, but they made an exception for me.
They made an exception for me.
Right. Mean to say you're a she-witcher?
Not entirely. The mutations, I was never subjected to them. But everything else I know, I learned from the Witchers there.
Know any of them potions?
Not so much. A bit.
Because you see, at times I get this pinching back here.
Shut it, Egrin. Nobody cares about your backside.
A woman could swing a sword. I've knowed one. But never seen a lady mount anything but a cock proper. All
Jeez.
tipsy on horseback. Nothing strange on account they bloody mount them sideways.
Perhaps you'd care to wager?
Think you can outrun me on an horse? Naturally. What's the stake?
Black mare. The one in the stable.
Oh, that won't do it all.
Yeah, you chicken.
What happened? You get the jitters?
No,
So why not?
the horse is mine.
To race the Baron himself. I'd consider it an honor.
Oh, that'd be a sight to behold.
Would it ever?
Done. But if I win, I take your sword.
Agreed.
I'd not drink any more this night. You'll want your head about you. And we start at daybreak. The day dawns.
Ready?
As ever, first one to the tower.
Man chop!
You can really see the green in Ciri's eyes a lot better without the makeup.
Come on, Ciri, don't you embarrass us.
Your sword is mine!
Can't remember
That'll
which
be the
way to
day.
go. There's no map.
Want that horse, don't ya?
Had one just like it.
Show how it's done.
I think it's a pretty straight shot with a few alternate directions.
Move it, move it.
Come on, lass!
I think we've made it.
You're wind, not woman. Worthy of the best horse. The mare is yours.
Thank you.
What?
Oh my.
Another chance to win.
Is it a basilisk?
She screamed like a mad woman. In an instant, all had forgotten the wager. Every man ran to save his skin, even were he to break his neck.
And they make it?
Some, aye. Others were not so fortunate. But what happened then? I must say, Witcher, seen a lot, but nothing like this. Never.
Uh-oh. I know that look.
You're a fast learner. You'll know the rest once you find my wife.
I do know where his wife is, but we're best making some progress with Tamara before we tell him. Okay, so we won't tell him about Anna straight away. We'll go and look for Tamara and see what we come up with, and we'll ask the Baron about all this extra stuff when we come back.
So long.
So it's so close to sunrise. We might as well just set off. So let's just hop on Roach and make our way across to Oxenfurt. Yeah, the sun's already rising. There's no point hanging around here much longer. Witches don't always need sleep. Can't really sleep properly anyway.
Wait, Witcher! When you find my daughter, will you give her this?
A rag doll.
Uh-huh.
See you later, Baron.
Went to the village for the levy, and that one hard banged a lass. So the bloody Baron ripped him a new one.
Where'd you say you heard this?
Okay, let's just get rid of a few items in our inventory, and then we'll head off. During his first encounter with Baron Philip Strenger, Geralt found the man's many contradictions puzzling. This former Temerian soldier was clearly an opportunist who, after his army's resounding defeat, served, dealt and negotiated with the occupying empire of Nilfgaard. The local peasantry anointed him the Bloody Baron, clear indication that he did not handle his vassals with kid gloves. On the other hand, he proved a surprisingly gracious host to an unexpected guest who was also a stranger and a hired monster slayer. His treatment of children and young women, towards whom he demonstrated a wholly sincere, near fatherly concern, likewise contradicted his bandit-like appearance and terrifying moniker. Ciri had learned this for herself, finding care and shelter under his roof. In exchange for information about Cirilla, the Baron asked Geralt to find his wife, Anna, and their daughter Tamara. Both had disappeared without a trace some time ago, and Philip was slowly losing hope of ever seeing them again. Under these circumstances, a Witcher was a gift from the gods. Yet, the Baron had hid certain facts from Geralt, such as his wife's recent pregnancy, her subsequent miscarriage, and his own predilection towards strong drink and violent quarrels. It turned out the Baron would drink regularly and to excess, and Geralt got a first-hand view of how dangerous he can be to those around him during such moments, when he returned to talk to the Baron about what he'd learned from the Pella. Philip had known from the start that his wife and daughter had fled, not disappeared, but torn between shame and concern over their fate, he had tried to save face while still doing all he could to find them. Geralt did not meet Anna Strenger, Bloody Baron's wife, when he visited Crow's Perch. Some time before his arrival, this woman had disappeared in unexplained circumstances, along with her daughter, Tamara. Geralt did, however, receive a detailed description of the missing woman. Anna was a comely 40-something woman with green eyes and hair dark as raven wings, which she kept tied in a tight bun behind her head. Geralt discovered that Anna's marital life had not been working out as well as she might have hoped. She'd recently been pregnant, but lost her child for unknown reasons shortly before her disappearance. When Geralt pushed the Baron about the matter, the ugly truth finally came out. Desperate and miserable, Anna had fled, taking Tamara with her, after her drunken husband beat her badly. The Baron was convinced Anna had miscarried because of his actions, but Geralt was not so certain about this. He couldn't stop thinking about the strange talisman meant to ward off evil power Anna had received from the Pella. During his search for Anna, Geralt discovered, to his great astonishment, that she and the grey-haired old woman in the swamp were one and the same person. The marks on her hands seemed to be the symbols of some mysterious pact she had made with the crones. Geralt's suspicions were confirmed shortly thereafter. The curse afflicting the unfortunate woman was indeed the crones' doing. Anna had turned to the ghastly sisters because she did not wish to give birth to the Baron's child. Crones granted her wish in their own twisted way, with a curse which made the fetus inside her wither on the vine, taking Anna's life energy with it. In despair, she turned to the Pella, and made her a talisman to hamper the evil magic's influence. Anna had lost this during her fight with the Baron, and was thus rendered defenseless against the crone's magic. After that, the worst was free to happen. The markings on her palms began to burn, and a fiend dragged her to the heart of Crookback Bog, where she paid back her debt as the crone's slave. Baron's daughter, Tamara, had disappeared with her mother some time before Geralt arrived at Crow's Perch. The Baron described her as a charming young maid of 19 summers and the apple of his eye. No wonder, then, that the Lord of Crow's Perch was desperate to find her. Yet it seemed Tamara had finally had enough of the way the Baron treated her mother and decided to flee along with her. Geralt found his way to a hut belonging to a fisherman who'd helped Tamara and her mother in their flight. There he learned that a horrible beast had captured Anna, dragged her into the swamp. Tamara was able to escape with her life and had found shelter with a relative of the fisherman in Oxenfurt. Welcome to Oxenfurt, everybody. Town built around a university. Usually a place of free thinking and good times.
Honor in the fatherland.
During the war, particularly due to Danian occupation, that might not be the case here anymore. See what the state is in the city.
Crawl back under your rock.
So it's an interesting contrast compared to the usual sort of feelings you'd get coming to Oxenfurt.
Got a pass?
Hey there.
We don't need a pass. We're from Novigrad, 8 generations and more. The war costs of the Zima business, you know. You'll choke to death on £3.
Yeah, it's a real contrast between the kind of the bars, the students, and but then you've got these kind of mage hunting, racist, Redanian soldiers.
No pass. Long live, etc. I feel like puking after that swim in the canteen.
Halt! No passage.
Case of the plague surface in the city or something?
The plague? No. We're to not let folk in the city. It's an order, so I don't, unless someone's got a pass.
So what kind of people are restricted access? We do have a pass, but let's just learn.
Who ordered the city gates closed?
Word is the king himself. Doesn't want paupers and refugees pissing all over his beautiful city. Apart from which, when folk can go hither and thither, always a chance some spy will slink through. This way, spies got it harder. So, no pass, no passage.
Right, I've got a pass for you, friend.
This what you mean?
Let me look at that. Missing a seal, the red one.
Impossible.
Department of Civil Defence forgot again. They're really off their heads these days. Happens, so be it. You may come through.
Excellent.
Come through.
Come on, Roach. Oh, why this settled area message keeps coming up?
Sod off before I lose my patience.
Roach, hello?
Sod off before I lose my patience.
Okay, Roach won't let me get on apparently.
Fuck.
Roach.
Watch your step.
Okay, that was a bit weird.
Move it.
Come through.
So we're at the Western Gate. A lovely sunrise. This is a beautiful break from the misery of the swamps, that is for sure. So we're in Oxenfurt. We're going to take this opportunity to clean ourselves up a bit. As much as I like Geralt's beard, he would generally be clean shaven. So to be lore friendly, we have to have a bit of a brush up here. So Tamara is on the other side of the town, so we'll go and deal with her first. Then we'll maybe have a little bit of R&R. We're not going to stay here for that long. We're just going to maybe have an hour or two. Geralt can have a haircut, have a trim. Maybe head to a bar or two, a pub or two, just to wash the swamp off himself. And we can have a look around a few of the craftsmen. There's an armourer here in the main square. There's also a blacksmith on the other side of the town. We'll have a look at the notice board as well, but we're probably not going to bother looking at the notice board. We're not going to be staying here for long enough to warrant it. But you can see already the hustle and bustle of a town. Real contrast to the misery of the swamps. Okay, we're here at the fisherman's relative's house. Right, well done, Roach. Thanks for the ride. You stay here, girl. We're gonna have to make the ride again today, though, unfortunately.
The witch hunters will see to you.
Right, let's get our gloves off. Let's be civilized in here.
I'm looking for Tamara, the Bloody Baron's daughter. Your brother said I'd find her here.
Wojtek sent you, sir.
How else would I know she was here?
Wait a moment. I'll fetch her straight away.
This cat doesn't run from us. Interesting.
You're looking for me, and who might you be? My father sent you?
Yeah, to see if you're still alive. And well. I'm Geralt of Rivia.
I'm quite alive and extraordinarily well, Geralt of Rivia. Better than I've ever been in this rotten life of mine, and now that you've seen me, I bid you farewell.
Wait.
We've nothing more to talk about.
She's got some sass. I mean, she clearly hates her father, so let's not play the worried parent angle. Let's sympathize with her.
Your father's a vile man. You're angry and bitter. Can't blame you.
Why do you help him then? Why did you take this job?
Because he knows something about someone dear to me. Promised to tell me if I found you and your mother.
Got it. A bit of blackmail. Just his style. Well, now you've found me, you can tell him I'm alive and I'm never coming back.
Why are you so bitter? According to the Baron, he only ever treated you with love and care.
Before I agreed to look for you, your father told me his version of events. Tell me yours.
Mine? It's dull as life amidst the swamps. My earliest memories are of a drunken father lying under the stairs, caked in mud and clutching a bottle. Next dozen years, pretty much the same. Father would drink, disappear for days, then come home in a rage and send furniture flying. Thank the gods for war. I was glad every time they sent him off. And the quarrels. I remember him screaming at Mum, the thuds as he beat her, then her sobbing. I'd hide under my bed and long for silence. That's the long and short of it. Multiply by 19 and there you have my life. Finally, we'd had enough, Mum and me. He crossed the line and we fled.
So your mother had a miscarriage, right?
I don't mean to pry, but I know your mother had a miscarriage.
His doing? He shoved her, she fell, that's how it started. We were alone, no one to help, blood everywhere. Worst night of my life.
Sorry. Must have been hard for you both.
Mum was in shock. She was raving that it was better this way, that she never wanted the charge. Must have had a fever, she was losing blood the whole time.
She didn't want the child?
Said she'd sooner cut open her gut than bear another child from his seed.
So we know that although obviously the Baron being a bit aggressive towards her didn't help, that wasn't what caused the miscarriage. The miscarriage was caused by her losing her talisman. She'd already kind of put the cogs in motion and regretted her actions. She was kind of undecided, right? She didn't realise that it meant more suffering for the unborn child going to the crones. She would have been happy to end it that way. She wouldn't have gone to the Pella, so it's not explicitly the Baron's fault that she miscarried. Obviously he knocked the talisman out, but yeah. I know where your mother is, Tamara.
Wojtek said some monster carried off your mother.
That is what happened. It was enormous, twice the size of a bear, but much quicker and more agile. It grabbed Mum before we could react. Now I don't even know if she's alive.
Your mother's in Crookback Bog. Seems quite happy, actually. Though I think she's not quite right in the head.
What? She lives! I must go there at once and get her out!
Wouldn't recommend venturing into the swamp.
I've made my decision. Won't let anyone talk me out of it.
She's feisty. A bit annoying. I guess there are some parallels with Ciri. I mean, the way the Baron talked about her, she'd hang out with his men, she'd hunt with them. She's quite feisty, quite defiant. That draws similarities to Ciri, who is constantly defiant, only ever does what she wants, won't be told what to do. You know, is quite an active person, takes things into her own hands. So what are you going to do now? We saw a lot of Eternal Fire references back at Crow's Perch.
What will you do now?
Find my mum.
You realize that might not be that easy.
Don't worry, I'm not daft enough to believe I can do it alone. I've got some new friends now. Powerful friends. They'll help me.
And who are these friends?
Who are these friends, if it's not a secret?
No secret. Heard of the Church of the Eternal Fire? A priest helped me contact the Redanian witch hunters. Righteous, brave men. They'll help me.
Hence the candlesticks in your room. So you believe in the Eternal Fire?
Once the heat of the fire has set your heart aflame, it gives you strength and leads you down the path of truth for the rest of your life. I hope it'll bless you with its warmth one day.
Thanks. Thing is, fire's tricky. It's easy to get burned.
Yeah, she's a bit of a contradiction here because she's condemning her father as this horrible, abusive person, yet she's allying herself with priests of the eternal fire and the witch hunters who are herding mages and non-humans up and executing them. So I think she's not got her head screwed on straight either.
What about your father?
Who? Oh, him. I don't care. I won't go back to him. That bit of my life? Forgotten it already.
Well, well. A witcher. Never thought the Baron would stoop to hiring a monster slayer. Though I hear you're good at tracking things down.
And who might you be, Miss Captain Smarmy over here?
Glad you know who I am. Haven't introduced yourself, though.
Graden, witch hunter in the service of His Royal Majesty Radovid of Redania. I'm certain you've heard of us.
Rings a bell.
If the Bloody Baron sent you to fetch his daughter, you'd best face it. You will fail in your task.
I appreciate your concern, but I don't need it. As for Tamara, she can make her own decisions.
Noble of you. A killer for hire abandoning his bounty for the good of another. The hunters and the Church of the Eternal Fire thank you. So the Baron hired a witcher to find his daughter. Interesting.
I'm very glad you find it interesting, you murderous zealot. Right. Yeah, the Baron's desperate, but yeah.
Desperate fathers have been known to do a lot to find their daughters.
Unexpected from a witcher. I thought your mutations cleansed you of humanity. Stripped you of emotions.
You don't need mutations to strip men of their humanity. I've seen plenty of examples.
Yeah, I think you'll find that Church of the Eternal Fire will strip you of your humanity as well, so... Where are you going to take Tamara?
Where are you going to take her?
Tamara must rest. She's had a harrowing experience. When the warmth of the Eternal Fire has restored her strength, we shall see about finding her mother.
Before you go, your father asked me to give you this.
Clara? Father told you to give me Clara. Funny how he thought to buy me back with a memory. Tell him one gesture could never make up for a ruined childhood. So long, Witcher. In spite of all, I'm grateful you gave me a choice. Didn't force me to go back to the tyrant.
Hope you know what you're getting yourself into. So long, and good luck.
Okay, so as expected, she will not be returning. Okay. So I think I'll leave that one there, guys. We've discovered the locations of the Baron's family. We know that Gran in the swamp turned out to be Anna. We've located Tamara in Oxenfurt. We've got to sort of present this. Excuse me, fellas. We've got to present this unfortunate news to the Baron next time. He's going to learn his wife really is trapped in a swamp, and his daughter never wants to see him again. Before we do that, we're going to have a little R&R. Going to get ourselves a haircut, get ourselves cleaned up, and then we'll head back over to the swamps. So, I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Leave me a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you next time. Or fail.